Where is the camera? Ah. There it is. Good evening. We're back at it and streaming again. Different place. Hi there, Jasper. Hello. Oh, the let me get this right. Okay. Hmm. What do you mean, get this right? Hmm. Oh, so what's with my music? That's a question best ask to yourself, Yoki. Hold on, I'm changing the music. Sands of Destiny. Okay, I'm back. What was your question, Onion? I was fixing my chat, so pardon me if I was a bit distracted. Thanks. Not sure if having my mirror on is doing me any favors, but there, it's much easier on the eyes. Are you in the evening or in the morning? It's currently the evening, but the sun is still up high where I am. Hmm. Ah. Yeah. Are you still streaming at midnight? Well, it seems I am. I think the people at the Black Cat should stay at the Black Cat. The Great Pug. The Great Pug must not be. Must be preserved. That's what. What about a friend from college? What about it? Also, what am I listening to? Stick with the usual. Either Yoshi. Was he actually in live? What do you mean? I don't understand your question. Oh well, hi there, Leia. Different place. Am I going to stay up again? Are you implying you're gonna stick out throughout the whole stream, Yuki? Yes, I am. Hello, Andre. It's been 6 hours since my last stream. Wonder where my mods are. If they're even gonna be present tonight. Hello, Penguchon. Minty. It seems Raybay has ate my mods indeed. Maybe I should double check where they are. It has indeed been 6 hours. Greetings to you in Ukraine. What's that in the background? A tower. I'm not sure for what, but it probably has something to do with the eclipse. The sun is now, well, I'd say it's a good 15% obscured at this point. I'll show you later. Thank you, Suti. I try my best. You may relax, sure. Make yourself at home. Not much going on here, really. It's just me. Do you stream on Twitch? Ask LTC. Why, yes, I do. Of course, Andre. Priorities first. Of course, here we go. Well, Just think of me as reactive wallpaper if you want. An NPC works too, but I'm pretty sure I'm smarter than any pre-programmed character in the game. Are those goggles real or an accessory? They very much protect my eyes from the sun. Ah, doesn't protect my nose from the sand though. Hello, Han. Thank you. Hmm. Oh my. Thank you, Ninja VR. Welcome to widescreen land. It is indeed by buying on my scar. Hello, Gale. I'm glad you could make it. And hello, Snow. Always a pleasure to see you here on stream. We're currently in Furality. From the Philippines, indeed I am from. I see. Welcome. Hello, Jenny. It's been pretty lackluster, but the eclipse, the convergence is happening soon. Probably in a day or so. Hello, AG. That depends on what sort of things you like. Do you like it fantastical, medieval? Think of a theme first and narrow it down from there. Is that a hover bike? Let's see, let's show Gale. Yes, it is. I'm in, well, what looks to be a small port. Or at least, a small refuge, a cantina. I know, I hope so. So far, again, it's pretty lackluster. Good luck to you as well. Yes, of course. Thank you, Snow. I'm just relaxing here. I know, it's... There are still... How many people? What do you know? I have the instance to myself. How lucky. This used to be actually part of the Southeast Asia meeting. I found in total 4 other Filipinos. That's it. So. Okay, sure. Hi, Doki. I actually enjoy the peace and quiet I have now. When there's people about, things just deharmonizes. I see you, Snow. I hope you have a good day or evening. I'm not certain. I think I'm almost at 1,000. A couple of 100 hours short. I only started VR chat around February. I haven't been here long. Thank you. What's your name? Fundy? Thank you, Fundy. Thanks. What do I like VR chat? The vistas. The experiences. Yes. I did run into one such person just right before stream. They were like, "Hey, can you take my photo?" They said in text to speech. I was like, "Are we friends somewhere so I can send you said photo?" And they kept quiet. Yes, there is, Sooty. You gotta be above 18 though. Well, sorry, 18 and above if you wish to join. It's okay, Doc. It's not your fault. And the person was not to kink shame or anything, but they were enormous. They had rather rotund body proportions. Said something about liking macros. Oh, if it isn't Naturo. I'm glad to have met you the other day. You and Witch were most adorable. Yes, macro. So it was a fox and they were using text to speech and I don't know where their legs went. It was just their body on the floor and the head and yeah, it was certainly a bizarre sight. Not a bodybuilder, not that kind. Unless you count eating McDonald's as the weight she carries. Oh, hello, Nick. Hmm? What do you mean? You would have to go to my Twitch, and then you'll find my Discord link there. Oh, it's been a while, Nick. I take it you haven't been in tune while I was traveling the desert to get to where I am. Hey there, Stitch. Is that Stitch? The companion of Celestial? Hi there, Clay. Ah! What do you know? One of the jewels the desert has offered is in chat. Welcome to the stream. I've posted the photo that we took earlier, and my mods were most delighted with what they saw. Wonderful designs. Amen, says one of my mods. I'm okay. I ran into let's just call them bizarre person. I tried my best to be polite, of course, despite them telling me to take photos of them even if I don't know who they are, and I have no means of actually giving them said photos. I have this instance to myself, so I'm enjoying the peace while it lasts. You wanna be like me? Penniless and sun-scorched? Do you sometimes have a guest on your live? Asked Biscotti. Yes, in fact, earlier I had Celestial Nova, Logi, and here we have Nova Stitch. They were very pretty. Very. Except Logi, he doesn't count. Also, how could I forget? We had Artemis. Very precious. Oh, you missed a lot. Sure. Anything you say, Nick. It was nice meeting you both, by the way. I hope one day you get a computer so you can see the sights to behold. Welcome, Faina. How do I read your name? Faina or Fagna? Not sure how to pronounce that. I'm well aware you're in the Discord, Nick. So how about you go drop by and say hi from time to time? I am most excited for you and Celestial to get your computers. And then let's hang out sometime. Oh wait, I do have you as friends. Cool. Thank you for the roses, perfumes, and the donuts. Erkan is starting the train of generosity that we may have during the stream. An epic adventure. It took me 6 days to get to this desert. Mildly disappointed that the conclusion of my journey would be lackluster. I will be staying here for 2 more days though, so I've yet to see all that this desert has to offer. Good night, Fane. Sure, Stitch. Right now I'm enjoying the peace that I have. As long as it would last, that is. Six days. If you look at my VODs over at Twitch, you can see each stream I've made per day. A revolver? I don't rely on such crude weaponry. Yes, indeed, EP. Yes, indeed. But for now, we relax. Oh, I have a few tricks up my sleeve, Nick. Where do you buy a VR headset? I bought it from my local community. Facebook Marketplace. Hello, Kai. How are you? I fixed the scarf a little bit, including yours. Take care, Erkan. I sure hope this lasts. At the choreography panel at the moment, I hope it's fun. I can't really stand large groups for an extended period of time without feeling drained. Surprisingly, I am able to own this instance all to myself. If I leave, though, I can't come back. The door closes. My access denied. Sure, take your time, Stitch. Hola, Snyder Palacio. Yes, Ray Bay. Sometimes you go to a VR game not really to dive headfirst into socialization. You pick the people who you converse with, the presence and company that you keep. I'm okay, Swedish boy. Enjoying the peace while it still exists. Is that what you have of an impression of me, Nick? I've always been this way. Sure. How do you pronounce Gebus? Geb? Bus. Hello, Fluffy Fox. Abuan. It's not Jebus. Gebus. How long have I been live? 29 minutes and 10 seconds to be exact. I was cuddly. Cuddly. Really? Go to sleep, Clay. I'm sure you're gonna run into my streams again in the future. Rest well. Is it because I didn't have a jacket back then, Nick? It's hard to be chill in such an arid environment as this.
It is Gabas.
It's blazing hot, as you can see. Can I adopt you? No. Thank you for the follow. Cooler snow. Can I adopt you? No. No, thank you. Ah, I had the feeling. It is indeed a cooler snow because you have access to a wild, a wider field of view. The title should yeah, that's true. Canonically, we finally found Umbra. It's pretty lackluster. Pre-eclipse, that is. If only I could update my stream title. Oh, I could, huh? Let's do that right now. So go into OBS. No, it does say Furality Umbra. It implies that I am here. Every adventurer needs a companion. I need the bro, that was poorly phrased. I need a diversified party. Let's stick with that. Hello, Gail. Hello, Leon Kennedy. Yes, it is indeed raining, Turo. Which is good. It's been really hot. I need to drink. My mouth is super dry. If I can find it. There it is. Yeah, okay. Come on. Chat, go hydrate too. I'm gonna drink. More Pocari. Gail, I bought a pack of 10, which makes 10 liters of Pocari. It's imported from Japan.
What was our fat games on son?
Getting coffee. Halo halo and more coffee. Ah, absolutely refreshing. I'll call you Star because I can't read your name. Well, if I appear in your FYP, perhaps you like content that's similar to mine. Oh, I have another one, don't worry. See? Just found you in my FYP again. That's been happening more often nowadays. Oh no, it just sticks to it. Oddly enough. No. No, you may not. His content is very unique. Probably pinned it right. Hello, Shadow Luna. Soul Wolf, welcome to Twitch. Thank you, No Check. I'm annoyed because it didn't notify me you were live, says Suti. Well, here you are. What is it? I see. My oh my.
I hope your day is going well.
Oh, it is. I attended the Southeast Asia meetup earlier. I've only run into 4 others from my country. One of them was Wish Dream. Yes, I did sleep. Got a 2-hour nap. Then hop back in here in VR. Yeah, what is it, Nick? Yes, Mocha, you may. Yes, I am in VR chat. Oh, shooting upwards of 51 viewers. Hello, everyone. Especially on Twitch, we have 12. Surprising. Looking pretty bored. That you are right, Kiwi. It's pretty lackluster here, to admit. I wish they would just rerun Aqua. I would have loved to experience it firsthand. Oh, right. I keep on forgetting about that. Let's get it running. And it's live. Thank you, Gail. A bounty. Those small jobs are below me. Thank you. I appreciate the compliments, Kay. I try my best. I'm not the best at English, which I keep on repeating. But I guess streaming counts as constant practice. Hello, Kwang. Welcome to Twitch. Thank you for following. I speak English and Tagalog. Are you even real? Asks Jay with a red dot for a profile picture. Perhaps. Thank you, Mask. And you too, Papina. Yes, I do. But I prefer to stick to English in consideration of our non-Tagalog speakers. No, Nick. My services are different. Thank you, Gail. There's another Furality. Well, the quality is so much better than the last one I saw you live in. When was that? I guess it's because recently Potato Foxy taught me about camera pins. Now I'm able to switch between 3 perspectives. That is a complicated name to pronounce. Kyriakos Lafa Zanis. That's a lot of letters. Hi, Sylvie. Betrayed Foxy. A name with a history to it. Hello. Not much. Thank you, Sylvie. Really lackluster. Not much going on. I've been to the club. I've been to the village. I admit, the levels look great, but there's no sound. It's just so dead. Black. The club. No, you were in darkness with flashing lights. Perfect recipe for a seizure. I did like the little canteen area they had, though. They were serving what looked to me like fried rice in a box, and they even had chopsticks. That alone, well, that deserves praise. Penguno, thank you. What's been the pretty spot so far? Well, wherever I stream, I guess. Here. I'll see you, Nick. Thank you for dropping by stream. I'll see you, EP. You should probably rest, based on your name. Hola. I'm doing good, Floofer. Just a little bored, really. That's... Ah. You have a good mic, not gonna lie. It puts mine to shame. Mine costs only around $70. That's the FIFA in K688. Do I have a tail? Do you have a leg? Yes, I do. The time is 12:33 a.m. It just hit a Sunday. Do you have other socials I can follow? I very much have a Twitter, an Instagram, a YouTube, a Twitch, and a Discord. They're all under the same name, Gebos. You can start by going to my Twitch. The links to my socials should be there. Oh, I did replace the scarf, but it didn't mean I threw away the first one. And here you go, Gail. More of what you wanted to see, knowing you. Well, the scarf that I was talking about is this one. It's a little... Well, it's thicker. It has twin tails. I'm saving this look for special occasions. Sure. Thanks. My mic only costs around 1,000. I started with the Mikkel mic. It was around 1,200 pesos. Love the mint color. Thanks. Look, where did it go? No, I don't play that. If it has the same mechanics as Genshin Impact, where you just control one character out of 4, it's not the game for me. I want the game where all my party members are present, fighting alongside me. Good luck with the thermal paste reapplication. Don't put too much. Mocha, I am a Nova Beast. Have you found my Twitter? Cool avatar. Thanks. Cool. Good that you found them. Because my Twitter growth is absolutely dead. Lindy does indeed make good assets. I have a bunch. The coin has been my favorite so far. And nobody cares about what you say, John. It's hard not to indulge when there's so much creativity going on. Cotton Candy the Furry. Not that I can remember off the top of my head. Detroit become human? What about it? Hello, Bendy. Oh, now that I'm trying to recall, which one did the coin trick? I still like that game. I wish they made a second one. Was it Connor? Was doing the coin thing? Thank you. I'm... What are Therians again? I forget. Chat told me what they were the other day. But I still don't have a clear definition as to what they are. I like frogs. Not in particular. What a strange question. The coin trick. Yes, indeed. Thanks. Well, congratulations on being able to speak Filipino, Nendo. Humanoid animals. I thought you called those anthropomorphized, like tigers and foxes and whatever. Are Therians different from furries? A Therian is someone who believes that they have a spiritual connection with an animal. And that's probably not me. I am just me. I am currently over at Furality Umbra. This map is, I believe, it's a lobby or the meetup place. I have nothing against Therians, mind you. It's just I don't really identify as like a fox or a cat. Yes. I still think you're a fantastic person, Eve. Can you launch the coin? Hold on. Bro. What? 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 There. Happy. Unfortunately, I have a lot of coins. I see you, Bendy. Hello, we'll say. You came from Japan. Let me move so I have a better POV. There we go. No, 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 no. There. This should be mildly better. How's Furality? Well, Slyware, to be honest, it's really lackluster. Go hydrate those eyes of yours. Get some eye drops. I'll catch you guys later. See you, Eve. No. No, thank you. I would not need a revolver. I'm more of a dagger person myself. Are you hoping for company? Not really. I'm enjoying the solitude that I have. Are you a Latino? No, no, I'm not. I'm not.
Hello, cutie.
Hello, Green Eagle. You ever used a katana before? Like IRL? Probably. Thank you for the heart, Firebug. I don't think that's a banjo, though. Let's get a better POV. Nah. Yeah. Annie Christensen. I just like to read your name out. Ah. You know what's funny? The eclipse is actually happening in real time. If you want to see it, when? I show you. If you tune into my live 6 hours earlier, the planet over there was barely touching the sun. And now it's covering at least, let's say, a good 15% of it. If you stare at it long enough, it actually moves. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Six hours ago, yes. Yesterday, they were far apart. What was the POV? Oh, yeah, that's the colony for the city. I have yet to be there. Can't control this thing properly, huh? Oopsie daisy. And a bit to the left. There we go. Thank you for the follow, Syntastic Sauce. Thank you, Paul the Cat. It does indeed look like the planet took a little bite out of the sun. Oh, you can check out the schedules itself, Penguino. I don't think there's anything noteworthy for me to head to anymore. I missed the TikTok meetup. Barely made it to the Nova Beast one. And the DJ stuff, I reserve it for the more musically inclined people. I'm the type who just wants to soak in the vistas and enjoy the quietness of all things. This is rare, being able to have an instance to yourself. Hmm. Hello, Alex. Tatooine bean. You'd fit right in, Kai. You look awesome. Excuse me. Welcome to the stream, Redless. Make yourself comfortable. Thank you. Yeah. um, thanks. Ah, a familiar name. Hello, Skea. The left controller is getting warm. Really? I know. Kai, I think they missed an opportunity here in Furality Umbra. The intro, I think, would be super cool if we were in like a speeder or a sand skiff. Heck, even a buggy would work, taking us across the desert. When I arrived here, it was really lackluster. The sounds don't even work properly. I wish it did. Oh my gosh, I'm starting to yawn. Does your coin sound? Yes, it does. Apparently, you had to turn off the ambient setting as you spawn into the map, Kai. And then avatar sounds would work. I feel like it very much is a work in progress. But alas, the event has already started. So I'm not sure they can really do much at this point. Well, I still gotta hand it to them then. They still did a great job with the visuals at least. I did hear that I guess what I would assume is the main artist or designer. They're while they were making this, they were also battling cancer at the same time. I'm tired and bored. Yeah, you. Oh, sure. Yeah. Mm. I'm sorry for her passing. Cancer is a terrible thing. Thank you, Noodle Sushi. Yeah. Thank you, Ethan Cypher. You sound like a robot. Do I now? Sure. Share your riddle. Can't promise I'll answer it though. Oh gosh. Excuse me. I don't think so, Kai. I don't know. It was just something I heard. Well, Biscotti, if I open my friends list, I can confirm that I indeed have. I see. You saw a ghost. No, 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 Kai. What I heard was one of like they had cancer while they were doing this. So I can imagine they were struggling to complete or rather polish things. Okay, Ariel. That's my answer. Hearts. Hearts. Skull. Cute coin. And then not cute coin. Let me fix my posture. I'm a little too far away and slouched. There. I should be able to breathe a little better. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, Chad. Yeah. Ghost of Tabor. Yep, that's fine. And this is fine too. Oh, it is indeed magical. Very. Quite the string of words there, Max. Well, thank you for your compliments. Do you know, ask a math question one more time, and this is gonna be the last time you're here on stream. Thank you, Coca-Cola. And no noodle sushi, but I did ask a friend earlier, and they did refer me to a website where people like audiobooks being read to them. Seems like something I can give a try on. Congratulations, Ramley, for the fact that I never asked about. Oh ho ho, what do you know? You know, you should probably go back to elementary and touch upon your math. Good luck. Let me help you on your way. Oh, he just did. I'm gonna. Let's see. Let's see. I don't exactly have professional experience in that field. Dang. Oh, Stitch, I am enjoying my peace and somewhere. Let me see if my mods, how they're doing. Ah, Gale, are you there? Yeah, Kai, the sound has been severely lacking, honestly. Yes, I indeed always stream, Kay. My day has been alright. Aside from the aside from the tedium I am suffering from. It's really boring. Not much going on here at Umbra. I know. I honestly thought the club would be up there at the tower. But alas, it is not. We were in some crashed vessel of some sort. A derelict. What nationality am I? Well, I'm Filipino, from Southeast Asia. Hmm. The eclipse is gradually starting to complete. I'd say it's now at a good 20% from the 15 it was earlier during stream. This is called a Nova Beast. Ooh, how could I not notice that? Dogma, thank you for sending 65 roses. I really need to find a way to have notifications work when somebody sends gifts. I apologize for expressing my gratitude this late. Listen, as long as you're not bothering anybody, then you're good in my book. Hello, John. He's Umbran from the grilling hot desert planet Solara, Tatooine. It does look like Tatooine. This is closer to a Star Wars convention more than anything. Some backwater planet. Arid world. Interesting song choice. Hello, Carmen. Oh no, you have to find someone named Kitomatic. They're on Gumroad. There lies the answers you seek, Mocha. How could you forget something so basic? I'm surprised your CPU didn't die at all. Hello. Thank you for the hearts. Ha! I give you a 2 out of 10 for that onion. Yes, Kai, you just added between platforms. It's probably your force powers. Or hearts. Hello there. Guys, if you like my stream, I'd appreciate it if you could share the live. It's just a button press away. I'm rather bored, so that would help. Oh, we have more roses from Dog. A total of 130 coins for my little fund up here. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And the festive potato. A paper crane. From Mystic. Oh my. Quite the generous patrons we have today. I'll see you, Kay. Hey, go do what you need to do. Biscotti, thank you for sharing the live. I've seen you do it more than 3 times. I agree, Dogma. It keeps you grounded in the rhythm of things. A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, there was a planet that was called Earth, and on it lived these things called humans. They weren't happy with how they looked, so they would often masquerade as something else completely. And who is messaging me on Discord? Come on, you're ruining the rhythm. Come on. Nika, I'm streaming. What are you doing? Oh my god, what is this? No. No, I like lasagna, but no. That's so bad. I apologize, Shan. A friend was sending me art. It was the mysterious Anon yet again. If you want to see it, you have to go to the Discord. Oh, another paper crane. Thank you. You are him. With what? Yeah, excuse me. A flower show? What is that? Whatever it is, thank you. Thank you, Floret. Thank you, Mystic. I seem to have picked up some form of sniffles due to the arid environment I am in. Sand tickles my nose. Ooh, and 30 roses. Oh my. Yes, you have. Hello, Snow. We have some generous patrons today, sending every bit of love they can afford. Probably mesmerized by the coin. It's just a coin. Hello, J Danji. You have the same name as one of my mods. Not Haiku, hello. Time is it? It's a little past 1 a.m. Oh, is that you, Jay? I'm not sure vibes yet. Oh, I know. Why would you ask a streamer to do a flip? Have some tact. Learn some manners. Hello, Ghostly. It's a little boring. Just waiting for the convergence. The eclipse to happen. I'm not sure how to answer that question, Biscotti. And hello, Mason. A favorite food is... Take a wild guess. To join my Discord, you first have to be 18 or above. And then you go to my Twitch and find my link there. Am I on Eclipse School countdown? I suppose. It's probably gonna occur in a day or so. So don't have any hopes of actually seeing it on stream. Yes, Kay, it's lasagna. Yes, Biscotti, it's lasagna. Lasagna's delicious, okay? Let's see, maybe we can get enough coins to get lasagna. I'm gonna rename survival funds to lasagna funds. I'm gonna do that right now. I do that. Okay, so up. Goal. Edit this. Setting. This is gonna be renamed into Gift Lasagna Funds. Okay, apply. Okay, come on, update. And there you have it. We have a new goal, chat. Blue milk. Guy, I don't want to know where that blue milk comes from. Let's not hope that that's not what I think it is. It comes from Star... Right. Can I add you on Discord and VR chat? How about we get to know each other first before any requests are sent? Not so keen on just saying yes to strangers. I hope you understand. Thank you, Nika. I'm not sure what's happening to my Discord now, but... Yes, Kai, I thought about that sort of milk. You're talking to a streamer whose 50% of him is the color blue. Where else would it come from? Bonjour. And hello, Mika. Hello, Ryan. Unfortunately, I don't understand French. Wish I could. Oops. That's me. Ah, I seem to have dropped my coin. Get another one.
I would need a protocol droid to translate French for me.
Yes, you would. Yes, you would. Thank you, Red. Some call my streams uneventful. Some say boring. I say calm and relaxed. Mystic has sent yet another paper crane. I appreciate the purse. More for the lasagna funds. Each time that gets filled up, 100%, I'm gonna take a picture of it. Post it on my Discord. Maybe with the biter too. Let's make that a goal. And Dogma starts adding more. Thank you. Yeah, Kai, I was
They
expecting
should
like
have added Cantina
NPCs.
music to the lobby's little cantina area.
Yeah, just the empty pan. I'm not queso. How's Furality, Nika? Boring as heck. Oh, I did meet some good people though. Yes or no? Your choice, buddy. What was the question in the first place? Ooh, the chocolate. Lovely.
You need to go around to make it not boring.
I know, Kai, I know, but... Snow, all you gotta do is go to my Twitch. You'll find the link there. Easy to find, promise. No, thank you. I don't want to learn French for free. Hello, Wolf. No, it is 1:20 a.m. So, an hour and a half past midnight. Why are you always live? Well, let's just say I'm a little bored. Much love to you too, Wolf. Do I want to go on a nice adventure to Barcelona? Asks Spyro the Husky. Tempting. Risky. But tempting. Oh, Lexi, I slept, don't worry. After the live earlier, 8 hours ago, I did sleep. Hopped in again for the Southeast Asia meetup and then... Now we're here. Wonder if I can get a good view with camera number 2. Let's send this flying. And that's the limit. What? I've hit an invisible wall. And yes, that is the area. Hold on. That's a desert. The tower. What's this? Mystica sent blooming ribbons. Oh my. Wait. Oh wow. That's a lot. Looks like we're gonna get. Looks like we're closer to getting that lasagna. Oh man. Thank you. Hmm. Thank you. Also, Dogma followed up with some confetti. You guys are too nice. I failed the ban for ban. It's okay. He can't give seep. Yeah, that's true.
Hey kid. Tell me one thing. Why do I sound like that 17 years old potato with yellow light of an eye? Am I some close relative to it?
Yes, indeed. I'll call you Glebos. Well, there, one of my mods, Jay, is finally in chat. They were in a flight earlier, heading towards the south. Or, well, south of where I am. I hope it was a most comfortable travel on the plane. You're correct, Starfall. That's my text-to-speech over at Twitch. You can redeem it for 200 channel points, aka watching it for, I don't know, a few minutes. You look like Connor from the tree. Ha. Do I need to put a power button on the side of my head? I'll see you on the Discord then. Welcome back, Joe. Well, if it isn't Axiom, how are you? Alright, chat. You're gonna have to excuse me for a minute or so. Enjoy the vista while I go grab something. 3 minutes stops, and I'll be back. Alright, I'm back. Let me go post the thing. Someone sent me for the lasagna fan. Lasagna. Gabe. Okay, so how do I do this on TikTok? My god, why do I have to do this? So, settings. Let's see, downloads. Oh, that's small. So earlier, because I was talking about lasagna, apparently we got a quick edit of course, I gotta post it here too. Hold on. So yeah, that's for the lasagna fund. And then we're gonna show it on Twitch apparently as well. So there goes my dignity. This is for the lasagna fund. Okay. So
Lasagna, where? Can I have some? Was I could be booked to
who
get
made
some.
that? The mysterious Anon who also drew Axiom and I while I was holding him with the leash. Okay, this has a white background, so this is gonna stay here on there. Maybe if I have a transparent version, I can pause it longer. Okay, wait. I'm sorry. Let me just hide that again real quick. Thank you so much, Mysterious Anon. I actually really like the art.
Mind and become an autonomous systematic entity
Hop
with
back in
energy
VR.
lasagna.
Oh, okay. No, it wasn't Neon. It was someone else. Where'd the camera go? Right. Well, so now you guys know that the funding above actually goes directly to the lasagna fund. And I immediately lost 25 viewers. Anyway, what did I miss, chat? Fill me in. Seems like I didn't actually miss much. Oh boy, what is Discord? I mean, this is close. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, I agree, Kai. The moment stream stops for even 3 seconds, they just move on. But we're back to 40. Hello. Ow. Lasagna, where can I get some lasagnas, Leia? Apparently, if I'm gonna get some, maybe. Uh-huh. That's amazing, says Joe. Okay. CEO of Being Blue. Hi there. Welcome to the stream. Also, who has been sending me stuff? Dogmind Mystic. Unfortunately, Dogma seems to have moved on. Mystic is still going strong though. Thank you for hanging out in stream. I hope you got a kick from that little artwork I got. Thank you for the follows, guys. Oh, I am shrimping yet again. Chat, make sure you monitor the posture you have while watching. Move around. Shift that body. Stretch. Oh, oh. And most of all, don't forget to hydrate. Really. Yes, lasagna is pretty much a universally loved dish. Hard to argue when it's in front of you, served already with nice and generous cheese. Oh, so. Guy, lasagna, pizza, calzone. I think they all pretty much fall in the same tier. The whole. How do I explain this? The whole convenient with everything on top foods. If you like pizza, Kai, you and I will get along very well. Especially with that garage of yours. Pizza and then having some hooligan time on your little bikes. There's nothing wrong with that. Yes, Mystic. I got to break away from the mall. My peers can handle the whole hot tub streams while in skimpy outfits. I make the more chill, meditative conversation with chat sort of stream. I feel bad for those with
I prefer
lactose
that blue
intolerance.
liquid that you are giving me every morning. It's some kind of robot, I assume.
Let's just call it lithium grease. That's what the blue liquid is. Gatorade Blue. Yeah. Also, thank you for the 7 roses. Gatorade Blue. Pocari Sweat. Gebos Bathwater. I don't know, Darkstar. Don't read too much into it. It's for your own sake. Only I had lasagna. I can probably order tomorrow, but let's see. Maybe if I stream long enough, we'll get there. Hello, Astro. And I have a message on Discord. Okay. Yes. Oh. Oh, wow. Oh. I am gonna enjoy my sleep after this stream. Yep. It's the bathwater. It's the one that Gale loves. It's what I spray on Axiom to keep him at bay. You should sleep soon. You know what? I'll probably take that advice. We're at a dangerously low amount of 17 when it comes to the viewer count. Oh, it's at 15. It's at the threshold. Should it drop any longer? It's time for me to sleep. I started live an hour and 46 minutes ago, Jay. I think Axiom would, instead of dodging the spray, he'd just open his mouth instead, and I would stop spraying immediately. Don't worry, Yura. The bat water probably tastes like diluted mint with a touch of blueberries. You'd get it. Did someone ban Axiom from chat? Have you ever been to the Philippines? I heard it is a most mysterious land with vast amounts of traffic and unbearable heat. They say within the lands of Pasay, one can find the fabled Diwatas Pares, a most sought-out eatery. I would probably start glowing more. Wow, we have a immediately banned. You just saw Mystic donate coins and you immediately tried to target him. Some accounts have no shame. Do something productive. Well, here you go, Edward. I'm gonna go send you to another streamer by blocking you. You're welcome. Ah. Much you have mashed the screen to increase the likes of this stream. Thank you. I like my scarf as well. What car would I drive? Kai, come on. Probably be a small car that can maneuver easily in the city.
What is your favorite kind of pizza?
Pizza? You mean pizza? My favorite kind of pizza is the one that has everything on it, with extra cheese. Aw, Snow. Thanks. Why do you sound both Russian, German, and African at the same time? You know, that sounds awfully like Operation Barbarossa or something. You apologize and yet you still commit the crime afterwards. That does not absolve you from it, you know. Oh, I'm sorry, but I have to steal your purse, okay? Like,
Pizza with no sauce. Whole wheat dough and 5 kinds of cheese, please.
Russian, German, in Mexican. Pizza with no sauce. Whole wheat dough with 5 kinds of cheese, please. And Kai has the best answer I have for you all who ask about my accent. I am from everywhere. I need to screenshot that and post that on my Immortalizations channel on my Discord. I'm okay, Roseblood. Thank you for asking. Where are you today? I'm currently in the meetup place in Furality Umbra. Oh, Kai hates mushrooms. Did you perhaps have bad experience with mushrooms? I like mushroom burgers. I don't know if you have that there. It's pretty good. Pause. Which is this? Or pause? What do you think, chat? It was a question that I just read. It didn't come from me. Morgan Freeman, but German and African. Okay. I'm not sure, Leia. You can try. Carl Jr.'s Portobello. Oh, that sounds good. I want that. Alastor, I am a Nova Beast. I'm just here to give you a lot of lies. Well, thank you, Invisible profile pic. My mouth dries up really quick. What's happening? And drink more. Yes, I'm hydrating.
All I
Ah,
want for Christmas is bread.
Axiom, I'm sure what you want is something that rhymes with bread. Mushrooms just feel so slimy and gooey in the mouth. That's what I think. There's one mushroom I like though, it's the cantarillo. Those feel more meaty. Ah, I agree. I think here we call them king mushrooms, the ones that you grill. Very thick, long. I'm not gonna continue. I'm gonna shut up. Do you have powers? Maybe. Thank you, Joff. Hey, you were here last time. Thank you again. Abwa. Abwa. I'm surprised nobody in chat answered my question earlier. Well, the question I read earlier. Finger hearts. Heart me's. From Rocco the dog. What? Rocco the doggo. Hi there, Joe. Moss. Okay. Thank you. Oh, hold on. Yeah. Thanks. The Discord. What? Alright, time to read. What's happening? Whoa, what? Huh? I'm reading Discord. Hold on. Let's call general chat for that very reason. So, Jay, can you check Discord? Make sure everything's at peace. Okay. Right. Anyway, sorry about that. I'm back. Oh, back to 37 viewers. Looks like I'm not gonna go rest. Why is the floof word blocked? Really? Probably Nika. She likes wielding that two-handed sword they gave her pretty recklessly. Let me see. Settings. Alright. Mute. What's this? Off-fly lights. No, it's not blocked. What are you talking about? It's not there. Here, let me do you a favor. It is? Really? I'm gonna double check. I just opened it right now and look at the block words. It's not. See, the block words are. I'm not even gonna say it. English is a band. What? Really? No, it's not. It really isn't. Like, I can take a screenshot and show you guys. Just say fluff instead of floof. If it doesn't want to work.
Adam, let's see if I sound different again. Maybe now.
No. No. Okay, thank you, Jay. Oh, Leia, I only have a select amount of voices that can be played. But I think I disabled everything but GLaDOS. I have a bunny? Not that I remember. What do you mean? I do. What do you mean I do voices? No, I don't. You don't love me. Did I ever in the first place? No, Axiom. There should only be one voice. It's Midwestern sprinkled with Filipino. I see. Where are you even heading to? No, I have 2 more days here in Furality Umbra. Yeah, good luck with that, Devin. Seems TikTok chat is starting to devolve into senseless banter. Where's the tail? It's behind me. See this? Oops. Here. See? It's right there. Never went missing. We don't talk about recent events.
Bow down before me, for I have become a higher being than you mortals. I will start by booping Gebus and then the rest of you in all the different platforms.
Alright. Ooh, double alright. Mystic is slowly but surely getting us towards the lasagna fund. It seems they do want the streamer to enjoy their favorite food and post a picture on Discord. Thank you for helping with that goal. No, really, I appreciate it. Philosophies will often involve conflicting ideologies. I don't want to skirt around that. Thank you, Mystic. I don't know, Kay. Euro, pinanganak lang akong ganito. Or sa kakakain ko ng spaghetti. Will it be a big lasagna? Guys, if the lasagna fund up here is fully funded, the lasagna tray I'm gonna buy is the one that's meant for 10 people. Well, 10 Asians of average size. That means it's gonna last me probably 2 or 3 days. I actually can finish it in one day, but luckily let's not talk about that. Okay, listen. Actually, I think I can buy 2 trays if we get the lasagna fund open. But my freezer does not allow more than 2 trays, so yes, Slyware. Oh, you probably should get some lasagna as well. I hear that consuming lasagna contributes to the overall well-being of humanity as a whole. Even promotes world peace. How late is it? It's currently 1:57 a.m. Zebra, go get some lasagna. Guys, get lasagna. Do it. Get spaghetti, get carbonara, get pizza, a calzone, a lasagna, or heck, even just some mojos and some garlic bread. Go and get those particles of happiness called carbohydrates in that body of yours. I do love calzone, especially when they stuff it with a generous amount of. It's not toppings anymore, it's stuffings. Stuffings. Favorite color is anything tinged with black and gold. It is indeed really late here. It's okay. I keep you guys company for a bit more. We're still at 24 viewers anyway. Dangerously close to dropping below 15 earlier, but we seem to have recovered. Mystic has been supporting us wonderfully for this particular stream. It's 2 p.m. here in Virginia, US of A, says Joff. Good afternoon. I'll sleep soon, Axiom, don't worry. I'll probably wake up and then it's Wednesday. Oh, the eclipse is getting awfully large. It's now probably 25% of the sun. Hello, Sayup. Sayup DeVos? Seems to be the perfect time to catch your streams. What do you mean? Doesn't work usually end at, like, say, 5? Hello, Cat. And Sin? If that's how you pronounce your name. I'll be fine, Ashim, don't worry. That's true. I try to stream like 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. my time. I'm at plus 8 GMT. Can you say my name in Spanish? Since when did I know how to speak Spanish? Excuse me. Oh, jeez. That's a secret. My age, that is. Sin, I am from the Philippines. GMT, Geb might be Thai. Yes, that's true. GMT. No. For Axiom, that's probably Geb's mountain tail. I sound like I'm 24. I'm not gonna confirm anything, but I will take that as a big compliment. If it isn't Kakaroot, probably Altab from One of his games. I see you, Snow. Glad to have you on the Discord. You gotta sleep. Oh, wow, we bounced back up to 40. Huh. Playing. How is League after. Gosh, how long has it been? How is League after 15 years? Or was it 14? I don't remember. Only enjoyable with friends. I take it Master Yi with an AP build is no longer a thing. How is the Nova Beast? What do you mean? They're okay? Ah, damn. Hey there, Kaiser. Kaiser or Kiza? I'll call you Stardust. That's a little easier to remember. Also to you too, Blitzo. And Lucky for liking the accent. The accent that sort of sounds like it's from everywhere. See you, Joe. And good luck with today's tasks. Ah, excuse me. Stefan, is this you? Mecca would like to join you. I mean, yeah, sure. The Kajita voice. Welcome back, Utarian. You do voice acting? No, this one has no professional experience in that field. But perhaps I will reconsider should the pay be good. And let's see if I can get the portfolio up. Who knows? It sounds interesting and maybe even fun to do. Hmm. Really could have fooled me. You sound so professional. What? Really? Oh, I'm okay, Choco Frog. Just awfully bored. This tedium, uneventfulness. Bad for the mind. My favorite food, Lucky. Well, look above. You see this bar? That's what we're trying to manifest. Now, I've been here for 2 hours and 15 minutes. I can still spare maybe 30 minutes more. It depends on the viewers. I don't know how it rose back up to 40, but I guess I'm doing something right. I know, Husky, you said that earlier and nobody really cared. So I suggest you drop it. I got the coins over. Gajita's wares if you have coin. Hmm. Can you eat the coin? Queso probably can. The voice makes my day even better. What, the Khajiit impression? The Khajiit impression? Axiom will gladly eat my coin. Apparently. I think he ate the door handle. Okay. Oh. This one is most pleasantly surprised with the rather generous purse you have just given. Perhaps I can interest you in my more exotic wares. Thank you, Ruru. Really. Oh my gosh, we're 30% there to the lasagna fund. We're 30% there to Gebo's ordering a big ass tray meant for 10 people. Thanks. Even if we don't make it, I'm still probably gonna order it. Who am I kidding? Hmm. Oh? Eh di mag-move on ka na. Boring ka din siguro. Luck. Oh my. X-Rising X. Wow, the naming scheme is very 2000s. Thank you for following. I remember you love lasagna. I love it too. Definitely on my list of favorite foods. We will get along really well. You see, I am a very simple person to please. The quickest way to my heart is through food. I see you eating lasagna and then, hey, stranger, come here, have some. What? No, no, thank you. That's a lie. That's me actually wanting a slice. Bread? That's $35 on Gumroad. Good luck there, Mystic. Do you like shrimp scampi? I do like shrimp, yes. I just can't eat too much of it. I don't know, Sabretooth. You tell me why. Raishin is saying, I'll make you a home pizza when you come to me. Oh my, that's mighty tempting. You sound like you're from COD. Huh. Definitely not Captain Price. Ah, the curse of being able to create something you don't truly enjoy. Oh, thank you for the rainbow. Don't forget it's Pride Month. Support those friends of yours. Spread the love, not hate. The Call of Duty lobby username. Muck Ticklefart. Not much. See, not much. That's an interesting name indeed. Ah, that's true. Just a little strange or funny indeed. What VR headset are you using? Currently rocking the Quest Pro. Thank you. And thanks, Brad. Oh, Soul King, I wish I understood what you're saying, but unfortunately, that's not part of my repertoire of languages I know. What part of Chernobyl? Ah, it's probably Reactor 69. Village. It's a top secret part in Pripyat. You're most welcome. Thank you for the rose. Yes, nothing happened to Reactor 69. Little do you know that Chernobyl plant is actually still running power. It just doesn't quite observe the laws of physics as we know it. Oh, I'm good. We were talking about Chernobyl. That's what they want you to believe. You have to talk to the local stalkers to get information about the fabled Reactor 69. What? From now on, if someone asks me what my pants contain, I answer, the Chernobyl Reactor 69, says Kai. Indeed, we're 1,000 away until we're halfway there. And we'll come back. Yes. The same thing happened to Area 69. You see, the government wants to distract you by making it seem like Area 51 is some mythical place. But in reality, all of the fun stuff happens in Area 69. Last I heard, that's where they turn humans into actual furries. Some genetics project back in the 70s. Am I one? You'll never know. Ah, yes. Order 69. You see, the clone troopers were given another directive. But we're not gonna talk about that. Who knows what could happen to me? Hello, Andronic. Are you a clone woofer? I don't know, Kai. You tell me. You're everywhere. Now you're in my Twitch. Hello, Naturo. Welcome to my ever so tranquil / boring ass stream. Hello, Sugar Cat. Progressive Geek? Yes, I am indeed in Furality. The most familiar tower is to my left. Jay was a survivor of Order 69. And they say they've experienced things that it's best that you don't know about. It was certainly some soul-sucking ordeal that went both ways. Don't ask me, ask Jay. You more fun in your videos. You see, that would be my interview sessions. I'm a little more casual there. Now I'm just plain bored. streamed a lot of hours there. You know what's strange? I didn't actually get to talk much to people during the Twitch meetup during the first day. I did see Waranto and who else? I don't remember. I just said hello, but each of them were busy with their own respective streams. I did not want to be a bother. Didn't really make any new friends. I was just hanging out with my buddy Kai the entire time. Chilling in the couch. Hello, Bless. Does your headset have eye tracking? Yes, Manny. Yes, it does. Yeah, what Jay said. Also, to answer your question as to why I'm seemingly more serious in my present streams, well, we gotta play the part of journeying out in the middle of the desert for the past 6 days and finally arriving to Umbra where it's honestly really lackluster. I appreciate the sponsored ticket I got, but I have yet to be wowed by the magic. Perhaps they're saving it for the last day. Who knows? I've been watching the eclipse for the past, well, since my earlier stream, 8 hours. And I can say that it's easily around 20+% of the sun has been obscured, compared to 10% from earlier. So it is moving. The convergence is gonna happen. Furality Aqua. Someone showed me around the still present Furality Aqua public map. When I walked out of that cave with crystals, I was just wowed. I got goosebumps. Now that was something else. Here? Yeah, no. I saw it. Furality Aqua. It felt like I walked into like the start of a game. It felt so epic. And I love the visuals. I love the fish. I love the markings that look similar to mine. It felt like my hometown. The crystals had the resonating sound to them. There was this archway that had a very soothing harmony to it. Oh, I see, Naturo. But here, it's very dead. The sound just does not exist. Probably, I can't blame it though. They put in a lot of work here, but I will give my final judgment once all 4 days has passed. Geb is secretly from the oceans of Luma. Alright, fine. See my back? You can probably tell why. I felt at home at that place. How do I read your name? You with the Cyrillic lettering. Also, thank you, Kuzora. And Fritz, the trash panda. Once a beautiful ocean, now but a wasteland, a desert. Maybe the fireworks will sway our minds. At this point, it's probably the same as a boss throwing a pizza party to raise staff morale. We'll see. I'll try to stay optimistic about it. I'll see you. Thank you for the heart. Honestly, I want to go up to that tower, Naturo. Over there? And over there. The city. I want to see this. I want to see the colony. I want to go drive in the desert, the surface. The sense of adventure I was seeking upon arriving in this place, it's not quite there. Imagine the city area. That would be so cool. Not sure why, but you just remind me of Johnny Depp. Could be the coin flipping. Really? I am an exile from the Novo Beast Discord for being a filthy pirate. Though I did pay my dues. So technically I'm clean. Bring plenty of water when you travel over to those towers. Yeah, I should. Welcome back, Dogma. Dogma giving roses. Supporting the lasagna fund. Oh my. Dogma, did you know somebody in chat sent over a picture to support the lasagna fund? It's like think of it as propaganda or an advert. Yes, I'm turning it back on. It's right there. Apparently, I am now Gebfield because of my love for the darn thing. Yes. I have mixed feelings about it, but it was rendered absolutely great, so yeah. We love Gebfield. Don't call me that. No chat. I'm gonna hide this before it gets immortalized. Yeah. No chat, no. Oh dear. You like it? Extreme. Okay. Mark with the black spot. Oh, Thank you. See, look, everything good can type the word flu. It isn't banned at all. I don't know what you guys are talking about. See? You can't say the word. Flu. Yeah. By the way, huh? What's this? Anavali is sending me a friend request. I see. I see Data and Picard. What is this? Progressive geek, you're level 61? What was the world like so far back in the past? Thank you. I'm buying the Night Beast. Yes, I know what the Night Beast is. Surprisingly doesn't suit me. Perhaps because this image has adhered to me so much for so long that it is bizarre for me to change how I look at this point. Didn't have VR chat, that's for sure. But yeah, have fun. Yeah. Hope you enjoy. What's your opinion on the preteens of VR chat? Honestly, I think there needs to be some sort of age verification system that's strictly enforced. Not because they're annoying, but it's for more of the safety of the minors themselves. I mean, I don't want to stop kids from having fun, but if you intermingle access between really young people and, well, adult communities, that's where we're gonna have like problems. Have fun with Grey's Anatomy, Eve. Naturo says, same here, they are enjoying the Nova Beast, as is. Although they wish they could adjust the face a bit since I'm more of a fox instead of a dragon. Shouldn't you be a Rex then? They should be closer to what you want. Though admittedly, I see Nova Beast with a canine nose. That's pretty cute. I identify more with the base, more dragon-like Nova Beast. Bye-bye, Eve. See you around. Oh, yeah, true. That's true, Naturo. I guess the Nova Beast just sort of feels right. It also does great with face tracking. Doesn't hit the uncanny valley when it comes to it. Rex is hard to optimize and kept under poor rank. I'm sorry for being at very poor at the moment. Usually I'm at medium, but due to Furality things, we got downgraded to that. You look awesome, Naturo. Can a Panda X Dragon hybrid be a Nova? You know what? I don't think I've ever seen a panda themed Nova Beast before. It should be simple to do. Black ears, black eyes, white face, black snout. Thank you. You're local. You're 10 followers away from my nightly goal of 200 followers. We're getting there. I need followers so I can impress Naturo and the team of voice mode. And then I can, I don't know what it was called. Like an affiliate or a sponsorship? Guys, I don't use a voice changer. I use a voice enhancer to cut out like the unnecessary noise that would otherwise be picked up by my microphone. That is powered by voice mod. That's a software I've been using for, well, since day one. It just makes your natural voice more crisp and cuts down the sound of my AC, the sound of my aquarium pumps, the bubbling of water, and heck, even the sound of my cat meowing. Ah, if it isn't Battleship Guy. Well, Naturo, does that work as a good promotional? Mystic sent Halo Halo of all things. Yeah, that's perfect for where I am. Is it humid in the Philippines? Dreadfully so. You're a natural. Guy says, I can't join you. What do you mean? I'm the only person in this instance. There's a lot of space. I use NVIDIA Broadcast, but it has some issues. I actually use that too. I was just trying to promote voice. I combine NVIDIA Broadcast and voice mod. Best of both worlds. Though once I reach like 100% GPU load, the voice tends to crackle a lot. Guy says yes, but the instance doesn't exist. So I'm in limbo, inaccessible to most. Finally, the peace and solitude I have been seeking. Hello, Dogma. What? Did you get your lasagna? I'm close to getting mine. It's almost there. Also, Wind Breeze has sent us 3 roses. Thank you. Garlic bread is calling me downstairs. Congratulations on having garlic bread. That's something most of chat does not have at the moment. I want some. Hello, Cameron. Good morning. I am doing alright. Alright, Guy, let's see if this works. I'm clicking accept. Alright, thank you and happy Pride to you as well. Yeah. Thank you, Cameron. It doesn't exist, Guy. Ah. So essentially, if I... Yeah, thank you. It's the desert. It's the desert. It gave me sniffles. It's... darn sand. You have to join through the website. Can you tell us more about Area 69? Let's see. Thank you, Mystic. Let's see. Oh, hey, if it isn't Q for Q. Stepan. The Stoplight Samurai. They wish they could. No, he wishes he could make it to Furality. There's nothing in store for you, Stefan. Even I am bored. It's very lackluster. The desert. A tower. A city that's inaccessible. But the people have been wonderful, though. I have share location with friends of. What do you mean? Ah, okay. There we go. I'm now on green. Why am I called Gibbous? It's Gib. Oh my god. Yeah, I know it's part of the moon thing, but only Stefan calls me Gibbous. Gibbous. Do you have Snapchat? Oh no, I don't. Yeah, the people are very nice. When I say lackluster, I was pertaining to, well, the area really. That's okay. Hello, Springtrap. Welcome back to the stream. Why should I get Snapchat? What for? On the website, look at friends. Then there's a little location pin icon. Let's see, hold on. Give me 1 second, my friend. No, it's turned on. I never disabled it. I have an explanation why. It's because I've lingered for many hours right after the Southeast Asia meet closed. I made sure that everybody left and it was just me, so I can stream in peace. And with higher FPS. And Dogma is sending roses. Oh, we are so close. Thank you so much. I'm not sure, Kai. I can send you a screenshot if you want. Maybe because I'm in an instance that, well, it's technically not close to me, but close to the rest of the world. Tell your friend thank you, Bago. Yep. I am indeed in instance 17540. Strange. I'm on green. Ah, I see. That's the secret then. Good. Though if you want, Kai, I don't mind hanging out again later. You're cool. Umbra creepypasta, or you're alone. The time is 2:47 a.m. I have a question, guys. Not to sound rude, but why do you want to join? What are you expecting when you arrive? You come here, I'm just gonna look like some Dark Souls NPC. Let's do that right now. Hmm. Where is that? Alright, time to flex voice mode. A polite conversation. I know you're seeking more than just that. Spin number 2. Blood turned into an NPC. True. Where is that? Greetings, traveler. Civil protection voice. It seems someone wants to join. I wonder who. Can they even join me here, in this vast nothingness? We shall see. No one can join. Invites are closed. I smell either bravery or dumb luck, but neither suits you. You are just wasting your time. You better get on moving. You come here seeking in the vast nothingness? You're either brave or a fool. The sands of time wait for no man. Greetings,
What's
traveler.
this?
This is the lasagna fundraiser. Oh yeah, hold on. Let's set the camera right. Is that better? Nah, the background has to suit it. Stupid TikTok. I named the boil after you. It too bothers me every time I sit down. What am I doing? You just I just mentioned Dark Souls NPC, and then here I am. Yeah, back. Yeah, let's stick with that. Just blood is waiting for someone to save the world. Oh, somebody sent a team bracelet. Thanks for the support. Now that I've heard the OST, I kind of want to listen to it. Let's listen to some Firelink Shrine. Dark Souls is the only kind of depression that I happily embrace. If that even makes any sense. Couch is gone. Hello, Madeline. Good morning, Gail. You just missed a good bit of something very different on stream. Very different indeed. I stream pretty much every day, on a whim. Sometimes in the morning, sometimes in the evening. Good night, Brent. Farewell. I'm glad you found rest, Gale. Good for you. My voice has been helping you fall asleep better. I'm glad. Hello, Olivia. I'd let you guys join me, but unfortunately, I seem to be stuck in limbo. Place in between. I'm here yet not. My friend Kai was unable to join, nor was Progressive. Okay, thank you for letting me listen to Fire Next Shrine. Oh, there's a second version. Maybe one more track. Geb, look at your art whips. It's pretty neat. Sure. I'll take a glance in just a moment. The Metro series, I know. Oh, that would suit this place. Ah. I see you're making me do an embarrassing pose. With a... It looks very good though. Thank you. Quasi. How am I doing? A little bored. No, not a little bored. I think boredom sort of aligns with peace, uneventfulness, calm, tranquility. So I guess it's not all that bad. I'm only halfway through my stay here in Umbra, but all I can say is I want to see what happens once the convergence occurs. The eclipse. Let me show you. You see that? The eclipse comes ever closer from occurring. Earlier, it was around only halfway to how much it ate. So it is moving in real time. Yes. Darkness will fall upon this land sooner than you think. And that's what I'm waiting for. What will happen? Will this tedium that envelopes us dissipate? What fascinating events may occur as it happens? I'll wait for it. Oh wait, hold on. What happened to my OST? Why is it looping? No, let's go back to this one. Wow, I'm being raided with a party of one. Hello, Ross. Welcome to the stream. I hope your stream went just as well. Pretty uneventful here, but you're more than welcome to stay. I probably need to set up my couch yet again. A bit cute. Flattery isn't gonna get you anywhere. But perhaps lasagna will. Maybe a lot. Enjoy the desertscape for now. I'm just gonna fix some furniture. The camera go. Oh dear, it's so far. That's me. I'm back. Sorry, I had to move around. It's my background from earlier. This one? He turned into a desert. Hope my eyes won't burn. I apologize, chat. Hey, had to adjust some things. Also, Progressive, thank you again for the team bracelet. I appreciate it. Maybe tomorrow we can hang out. A little meet and greet. I'll definitely be inviting Kai though. If you're still here, Kai. So which means, as for my followers, the meet and greet can be, I'm gonna host it not in Furality, so everyone can go. It's probably gonna be in the desert though, so see if we can dress accordingly. Alright, let's see if my old camera still work. Let's put this here, there. I had to move around a little bit, so there. Will this be in the morning or evening? Probably What time is it? Probably morning or near lunchtime, my time. 'Cause after this, I'm gonna go rest. Do you have Discord? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Oh, I'm facing the wrong way. No wonder. Oh well. It used to be here. "3 a.m. in the Philippines, bro. I need to sleep, but you're too cool to miss out." Matulog ka na, Rina. Okay lang yan. Makikita mo naman ulit ako sa mga susunod na streams. Don't worry about it. Rest well. 5 a.m. Let's see. I'm gonna ping you guys and see if we can hang out. Quasi is undoubtedly expressing their affection. Thank you. What's the music in the background? It's called Hidden Oasis. Or no, Exotic Oasis. How's Furality coming along? Honestly, Amethyst, it's a little lackluster. The people are fantastic. The world, not quite as magical as I expected it to be. Hello, Uta. Well, Rina, if you are in the Discord, sure, yes you can. My Discord is over at my Twitch. Make sure you're above 18 though, if you're gonna join. How long have I been live for? I have been here in limbo for around 3 hours and 20 minutes. That's true. That's true. But I wish they did something like have a magical introduction. Going out into the sands, perhaps riding a speeder, a skiff, or even just a buggy. Letting us explore the surface that we cannot. Ooh. Thank you for the 100 ice creams. That's definitely gonna help me cool down. How do I read your name? Dark Fire. That's true. We gotta make do with what we got. I still give props to the entire team of Furality though. Like, don't get me wrong. Again, the people are wonderful and fantastic. It's just I wish things were a little more polished. Even with the sounds. A bit more ambience here and there. Perhaps the sound of the desert wind. But alas. Thanks. Just like my stream, there's not really much going on around me. Again, I'm in an instance that is empty, unjoinable. The good and the bad thing. I've been okay showtime. Maybe a little bored, but things indeed could be better. A smug tone, but it's cute. I'm not sure, poet. It's probably my mods. They're a little too vigilant with what they do. Did you perhaps spam chat or ask me to do a backflip, a mathematical equation, or just absolute nonsense? What Jay said. Hmm, what about the accent, Malfine? I apologize in advance for my rather poor command of English. Gizargo. Have you ever played Skyrim before? Ah, this one has had many years walking the lands of Skyrim. Much snow has indeed touched these paws. This one very much prefers staying within the walls of Whiterun, despite their nomadic nature. Ah, I still stumble upon my tongue. Not so good with words. Hello, Quasi. How long do you stream for? As long as my viewers are above 15. Um, don't wanna leave you guys hanging. Also, hello, Gail. Ah, you get to hear me doing the voice again. Seems people really like it. For some reason. Yeah, if it isn't Artemis. You tell me, Showtime. The way I'm speaking right now is how I normally speak. I always love your live, says Nika. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Oh no, I'm just really bored. Bored yet at peace. So that balance each other out. I get that quite often, Malfine. You can try, but I don't think you can. I'm in an instance which has no people in it. And nobody can apparently join it, no matter what I do. A bunch of my, excuse me, a bunch of my friends have been trying, but unfortunately they have yet to succeed. Depends. Maybe 30 minutes more, tops. Then I have to head to bed. It's already 3:18 a.m. here. Ah, Gale. I'm sure I know someone who wants to see you though, Artemis. They seem to have taken a liking to how your model looks. And same to your friend. Twitchy. Or was it Twitch? I forget. Social. Nova Stitch. Twitchy. Who's Twitchy? Nova Stitch. I'm so bad with names. I'm so sorry. You drive a car yet? Not here. No, wait. No. I'm confused. Celestial is the friend of... No. Oh, okay, there we go. It's all jumbled in my head now. Dorka is Artemis. Artemis having a different name is really confusing me. Good night, Rina. Sana mahimbing ang pagtulog mo. Dapat tulo laway. Really? You can't? On TikTok? I'm sure it's as simple as going to your profile and editing it. Sooty, that would be a driver's license. Gail. Sounds like you need a good rub down. Make you feel better. Peculiar. I mean, you can. Also, I've seen your drawings, Dorka. You should finish it. Don't forget about the Whips channel if you're enthusiastic about sharing your progress. But I actually appreciate it when you just surprise me with the finished product. Okay. Your voice sounds so flirty, not gonna lie. Does it? Really? It sounds more than flirty, says Quasi. What do you mean? Enlighten me. I am just as curious as you are, Jay. That's why I await the answer to... Oh, these two. Seductive. No, I'm not trying to seduce anyone. I'm okay, Sky. Thank you for asking. How much sleep did you have? I had 2 hours earlier. and then I had to hop back in. I was in VR since around 9 p.m. It's now 3:23 a.m., so 6 hours. Imagine people gonna turn you into bots. Funny enough, I actually have a section in my Discord that's called the Gebos chat. Funny little place. I can't say anything. What do you mean, Artemis? I mean, Dorka. What do people think of your voice? They surprisingly are receiving it well, saying I'm good at reading narrations, books, and the likes. Not sure I'm up to par when it comes to that, but it is flattering all the same to receive such praise. Welcome back, Giga. I guess the planet revolved a whole 360. Nah, your voice doesn't suck. Suits you well. A seductive voice would be more proactive with their actual seduction, and they would be leaning very heavily towards their approach. They're gonna use words like, I'm definitely gonna eat you up. Now that's seductive. I'm more relaxed more than anything. Huh? No. Oh, chat. You're funny. Yes, Quasi. What is it? Yes, I do have a cat, K. A stray I picked up 4 years ago. Color black. My closest companion. Hmm. Starting to yawn. Sleeping is creeping in. I'm okay, Pete. I need to sleep, says Joe. How can I when we have 36 viewers plus 6? Thank you, Jay. Nah, yeah. Your voice is very suiting to the world music. Or the other way around. Thank you, Rinfin. I'll take that as praise. A high form of it. Oh no, Mecca. I wasn't able to say hello to you. Ah, yeah, you reminded me of my Australian friend. He wanted to join in here too, and I haven't seen him since day one of Furality. He's my gym buddy. We motivate each other. I said something about 30-minute stops. What time did I say that? 10 minutes ago? Hello, Alex. About 15. So we have 15 minutes remaining, chat. I hope you are entertained. Despite the. Despite the stillness of it all. When will you be live next? Probably. Oh, wow. Wow. Whoa. Where did that come from? Probably tomorrow. Suti, it was Mecha. Mechatronic Dragon, remember? Wazi is more than entertained. What do you mean? I want you to elaborate on that for me. I spit fire out. That is due to the desert sand. It's been happening ever since I started heading towards here. Want to see the ears down. Why? Happy? I look like a cute bunny. Probably. Sorry, I spaced out for a moment there. You have 10 minutes remaining, Chad, until I have to go and rest. Oh, here we go again. Don't worry, no rush. 9 minutes. Oh boy. I'm starting to show my mouth a little bit too much during the stream. That would depend on what you need help in, Megane. Sayang texture. Oh, yeah, I forgot. There's this thing that works. So apparently, if I zoom in, it makes chat happier. Thank you, pizza killer. I too kill pizzas by quickly stuffing them in my mouth. He has a YouTube, Sooty. I don't know as well, Artemis. I just learned it a few days ago that chat gets really happy when I periodically zoom the camera into my face. Seems to be a formula that works. Some even suggested I pointed at my beans and ah, and even put it in my mouth. I don't know why. Oh, Guy says the dealer den is open. Oh, right when I was about to rest. Sure, I don't mind hopping in for a while. Bro is in kissing. I'm very much far away. See? That's nothing special. My hands. Hello, game. Was your avatar costume made? Not entirely. More of a modification to suit my tastes. The textures, the clothing. Okay, hold on. Let's go back. Yes, I do have a Discord server. Alright, chat. It seems the dealer's den has opened and I would like to hop in with a friend. Guy, if you're still there, I'm up for it. I'll explore for maybe 20 more minutes. I can still squeeze in a little bit more energy. Let's see who's online. Sosha. No, Kai is already online. Alright. With that, I shall conclude this stream. It's been nice having you here as company. Of course. Sure. Okay. For real now, I have to say goodbye. You'll catch me again tomorrow. If not, the next day. With that, I bid you adieu, TikTok. Until then, I've thoroughly enjoyed my moment of peace. And to my viewers over at Twitch, thoroughly entertained by my little sneezes, my voice impressions, and most of all, me being zoomed in. I have to go. Thank you for joining me in the stream. Bye. Wait. I could stream at the dealer's den. Nah, it's okay. I'll do it tomorrow. Raid? Nah, it's okay. Yeah. Excuse me. Actually, you know what? Let's see who's online. Maybe I have a friend or two who's streaming, so I can.
In the fandom, I knew I.
Nope. Definitely not. Okay. Bye.